Okay, your favorite decade isn't a genre, period. I don't care if it's the 70s, 80s, 90s, whatever. It's not a genre. People are like, I love the 90s. Like, all 90s movies are a genre. No, it has a certain feel to it, and that feels shit. 90s movies overall is just garbage. I grew up in the 90s, okay? I didn't like 90s action movies when they came out. So it's not like this is something new. Oh, you're old, you're cynical. I didn't like 90s movies 30 years ago. I don't like them now. Okay, as far as some of them, yeah, as a kid, I liked Home Alone. I can't stand Home Alone now. So some stuff did change with age, right? And I get it. Some stuff's meant for kids, some stuff's not. So I know people are going to have that argument. But honestly, that argument isn't always valid because us adults are just like older 15-year-olds. The stuff we like back then, we like now. It's the same fucking thing. So you can't tell me, oh yeah, it's because you aged. No, fuck that shit. 90s action movies are some of the worst things ever made. 90s horror movies overall are complete dog shit. The 90s gave us Nirvana, okay? So let's just stick with movies. The 90s are not a genre. Everyone's like, I love stuff from the 90s. I love it. Didn't we have all this great stuff? No. No. You want to act like the 90s was such a glorious time. Fuck no, it wasn't. The 90s would be exactly like today if we had access to everything we did back then. And I'm not saying technology makes it better, worse, or anything else. What I'm saying is, all the really bad shit we get now, we would have got back then, but maybe even worse. Because at least now we've had decades to find ways to do things different and streamline. The only thing good about the 90s is the bar to entry was higher, so not every jackass like myself could be doing what I'm doing right here, right now, and getting seen by whoever the fuck watches this. Alright, so the 90s gave us Nirvana, the most overrated, sad sack, heroin addicted, basically cried for suicide that I've ever heard in my life. You think emo's bad? Put on a Nirvana record. Alright? Let's not pretend it's anything different. Oh, the 90s, they were better because the music wasn't so sad. The people weren't so depressed. Bullshit. Things weren't so vulgar. Bullshit. There was X-rated movies. NC-17 where you had to be 18 to get in. It didn't matter if you were with a parent or not. You get this? Nothing has changed. Alright? Oh, 90s cartoons were better. Bullshit. They were pandering for toys. You put together a design. You're like, can we make this out of plastic? Yes. Can you write a story to sell these products that nobody really gives a shit about, that's just going to collect dust, so people in 30 years can be like, I remember having that as a kid, here's $200. Don't even get me started on that shit either, okay? Holy fucking hell. Collecting old shit. Yeah, I listen to old shit. It's not because it's old shit. It's not because I have this connection to it or whatever. It's because the messages and everything to it last. They are still fucking relevant. Yeah, some of the stories and stuff from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, which to me is one of the most overrated lumps of dog shit just there from marketing that I've ever seen, that was made by somebody to be something else and then watered down to nothing. Holy fucking hell. Okay. But I'm not trying to get off topic. The 90s are not a genre. They never have been. They never will be. Okay? I love the 90s flat out. Good for you. Good for you. Alright? People love all kinds of things. I could say I love my grandfather or grandmother and they could have been complete pieces of shit. Right? I still love them. They were mine. I was there for them. It doesn't fucking matter. Alright? Jesus Christ. Yeah. So the 90s aren't a genre, the 80s aren't a genre. The music from the 90s, I mean, pop's always been bad, right? And this mass-produced bullshit has always been fucking horrible. Because there's nothing that stands out about it. There's nothing important about it. There's nothing. It's just, if I would be like, here, what I'm holding in my hand, nothing, and be like, this is 90s music. You know, the ones put out by the major labels, put on the radios and everything else. Here you go. Now, I'm not going to say all music from that decade is that way. There's some good stuff with the hip-hop, with some of the hip-hop at the time anyway. Not all of it, granted. There were songs that were covering things that are still happening today, people need to deal with, that, you know, the emotional aspect and the true life situations. Now, with the rock stuff, yeah, I've been a musician for over 20 years, and if somebody told me to be in an 80s or 90s band, there better not be a gun present because I might blow my head off. It's never going to happen. There's no soul, there's no passion, and there's no heart whatsoever in the 80s and 90s. 90s especially. In the 80s there were some ballads and shit, and people can say that there's something there, and there might be, you know, some validity to it. To me, there's not, but I'm sure somebody could spin it that way, right? But I'm not suicidal. But at that point, holy shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's nothing there. I remember the new rock alternative from where I'm at, right? You'd turn it on and you'd be like, well, this is nothing. This is nothing. Oh, this is unoriginal. Oh, this guy sings in a higher voice. Oh, they're trying to be angsty, but it's fake angst. It's angst to sell records. You want real angst? Look at me, motherfuckers. So, yeah, the 90s aren't a genre. They never have been. They never will be. And anyone that holds them in that regard, I think that they should probably be checked into some kind of mental institution, or at least, you know, some test ran. And this is not saying everyone's like that or saying you personally, so don't come trying to sue my ass, okay? I'm not coming after you. I'm not naming names. But that's just a fact of the matter. You know, I'm not going to say everything in the 90s was bad. There are some outliers that were good here and there. But a few bright spots don't make up. It's like somebody feeding you a cake that's made out of cow shit that has some sprinkles on it. You might like the sprinkles. There might be some here and there. But it doesn't make it good, it doesn't make it edible, and it doesn't mean that it's still not cow shit covered in sprinkles.